Yeah, they'll trickle in.
Are we live?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Thank you, Owl. So welcome back from the break, Comms and Tech Committee. We have some guests here, so I would like to start with introductions, and I'll start with myself, and then we can go this way around to our guest. My name is Sanji Lopez. I'm the chair of Comms and Tech, and obviously a community board member.
Anthony Jordan, district manager to the board. Good evening, chair, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it my turn? Okay. I'm Leslie Lopez, and I'm a new member of the board.
Yay! Congratulations!
Stephen Palmer's Bronx Community Board 1 staff member, the community association.
That's right.
My name is Cameron Hood, and I'm a reporter for the Bronx Bulletin, which is a publication of the Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism. It's where I get my master's degrees in journalism and computer science.
Hi, I'm Sam Murphy. I'm with the Mott Haven Herald and the Hunts Point Express. And just so you guys know, I think two of our people might also be coming, just trickling in a little later.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, so we will start with new business. All the business is new on the agenda.
Welcome back.
And yes, welcome back from the summer break. There's so much to talk about on the Comms and Tech Committee. And the first is a very important one, appointing a new vice chair. Because as we know, Leslie Lopez is now a community board member. So that removes Leslie as vice chair of the Comms and Tech Committee because we need a public member to serve as vice chair. So now this committee has to decide or spread the word to the rest of the board to see who's interested in becoming vice chair of the Comms and Tech Committee. So I think it's really important to just spread the word about that. I don't know how we are looking to do it. Maybe at the next community board meeting, but also an email blast, maybe.
Maybe on the newsletter.
Yes, the newsletter. Yeah, that's true. The newsletter.
We can attach the public member application to just that monthly newsletter. Well, do we do monthly or weekly? I'm sorry.
We're doing it monthly currently.
So we can add to the next month's edition newsletter and just add a copy of the new the public member application. So it could be more streamlined.
Okay, yeah, it would be great. So whenever you can get that to us, Stephen, we'll attach it as we work on the newsletter for next month. There was a later update in this agenda that the newsletter obviously didn't go out during the break, but we do want to bring it back this month. So hopefully we can get a newsletter out for September as opposed to October. There are a lot of events coming up that community members may want to, know about that we want to include on the newsletter. Okay, so that sounds great. We can include the posting for the call for new vice chair on the upcoming newsletter and attach the application to that newsletter. We might have to do that through a link because I'm not sure how attachments work via newsletter through MailChimp.
You can attach a PDF as a link.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. We have some new tech at CB1. Thank you. Thank you for getting that tech. Yes,
Yeah.
I would love on record to share how we were able to get this tech. I know that it was some funding coming through from local electeds. So if you could share, District Manager.
So sure, thank you, Chair. So this was creatively some creative skill set of the team of Stephen and urging us to cut costs as much as possible, with working with the chair and all of us to making sure that we find the resources and look at that wish list that was mentioned often by this committee to say, what are you guys doing? Drag your feet, find the money. So we're happy that we were able to be able to allocate and make this work of the community board be very public. So that was great. So thank you to our chairs and to our team to making sure that Stephen's work to try to find the money. But together with that chair, we were also able this fiscal year, thanks to allocation that we became aware through New York City Councilmember Rafael Salamanca Jr. was allocated $62,000 and capital expense dollars that could be used to increase the technology capability of the board of the office to first and foremost, the council members' interest was to ensure that we were a little ahead of the game to publicize and video record our meetings and have them sponsored or have them aired out through YouTube and social media outlets. So we're very thankful for the advocacy of this committee and the team that the Councilmember Salamanca made that application. And I'm sure this committee will be happy to provide creative ways to use it to ensure that we do a lot of the things that we've been talking about. We're still in need of meeting some of the outcomes that the committee wanted to make sure that first that we air our meetings, that we broadcasted on not only YouTube but social media outlets, but also that we help to translate our these meetings, because we're a melting pot of multiple denominations, populations, racial ethnic groups, et cetera, and languages, and it's CB1. And so we want to make sure that we meet that aspect. And then also, as we, together with that, as we move our meetings around, that we also have the equipment, not only to record it, but to people can understand us clearly. We might amplify our word and our information, and it really would help our outreach efforts. So I want to say thank you not only to the council member, but to this committee and to everyone's expertise here and your leadership to vision one and give purpose to that work. So we appreciate that. And we want to keep on moving forward with it. So that's where we're at. But so this time, like I said, we were able to have the you see here, the additional money as this committee starts to look at our technology and our other capability. We'd be happy to take your lead.
To lean on the comms and tech committee to advise us of what we can upgrade.
Yeah, thank you both.
CB1, we out here, right?
Yeah, CB1, we out. Thank you both for helping advocate for that and the importance of communication and sharing information with our community starts here on the Comms and Tech Committee. So I'm really glad that we were able to get the equipment that we so badly needed. CB1, when I first came in as a member, I noticed was behind on a lot of the tech and a lot of the comms strategy and tech that we didn't have. Something as simple as streaming the committees so that community members can access these meetings if they're not able to come because of childcare or whatever, work or other things that they have. And for a while, our tech wasn't up to par. Like you couldn't, as we were streaming our meetings, but you couldn't understand what people were saying. So like the mics weren't good. So I'm really glad we have this owl to help us now stream a little more high tech. And we have camera equipment now, as the district manager shared, so that we can also film and stream our general board meeting, because we can't take the owl. I mean, obviously the owl can go, but it should stay here, maybe.
Just at home.
Yeah, but I mean, if we can take it with us, it'd be nice.
I'm sure you'll be creative, Chair.
Yeah.
Right away, right?
And I see you're also being creative, and we've connected it to a tablet that we also have been able to acquire with our funds. So I'm really, really glad that tech is something that everyone at the board is contributing to.
Embracing.
Yeah, and embracing. And I think something else I wanted to uplift is we also have to recall, that general board meetings are attended by general public community members, and maybe some people have privacy concerns or don't want to be on camera. So we also have to be considerate of using an owl there that kind of follows the voices of people. Maybe we can turn that feature off if we are using that for community board meetings generally.
Sure.
So that's just something to uplift.
Yeah.
And yeah, anything else y'all want to add about the new tech? Thank you, Councilmember Salamanca, for also helping out and allocating funds for the tech. Social media. Yeah, thank you, Les, for leading a lot of the efforts on Instagram. I think we split last time we met, we split the tasks. So you're taking care of Instagram, Facebook as much as I can.
Yeah.
Clarissa, I think, is doing IG stories.
Yeah.
I think I was Twitter too. I don't remember who was Twitter, but
I believe she also was Twitter.
Clarissa was Twitter. Yes, Clarissa was Twitter as well. But we can revisit that if we need, like, to still.
Yeah,
assist
I
each
don't
other.
know how big our Twitter audience is to like continuously update that. I'm not a huge Twitter user, so I have no idea how it works. But our Instagram is amazing.
Yeah. I think I'm like a huge proponent for like having everything be uniform. So like
Yeah.
even if there's not too many folks on Twitter X, whatever, right now, we should be posting the same things across all the platforms so that, you know, whoever needs the information and is not on one platform over the other can still access it. So I'll check back in on the X now that we're back from break and see if I need to be a little more on top of that and help our chairperson with posting.
So in regards to social media, if I may, and this is something that the chair, Chris Aliato asked us to look into. Is there a way that we can also not only use our YouTube channel to broadcast our live meetings, but can we do Facebook or Instagram Live or both to broadcast our community meetings?
From what I know about Instagram Live is that it's not doable. I've tried in the past on personal matters, but it's just not a feature.
Interested, they're all owned by the same.
I know,
Right.
you would think, but I actually almost got hired for trying. Yeah, because it's not a thing that's been implemented by Instagram yet. But the platforms that are live friendly is Facebook. I'm not a huge Facebook user either, so I would have no idea how to do that. But I also know the other platform that is very popular doing live is TikTok, which we don't have. But I know Instagram Live is like possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will add that in order to stream on several platforms at once, we would have to invest in another platform. So like StreamYard, for instance.
Or like
StreamYard,
OBS, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
StreamYard allows us to stream across multiple platforms at once. And I'm on the page right now. So Facebook, YouTube, X. It says even LinkedIn, and it actually has Instagram Live on here. Though I know that it's been an issue for folks in the past, but it looks like they added it on here, and we might be able to transmit on all of these platforms at the same time if we use one provider like StreamYard. As opposed to starting our lives on YouTube alone, we can go into this platform and just start the live on all of these. Yeah, as long as we connect the accounts for CB1 to this platform, you know, but it will require an investment.
I think that the only thing that to take away with that is how comfortable is this committee with the security, like this whole guys talked about is the probability of being hacked. So is take a recommendation, and then I guess you said buying into the network is a price. That's so that we can just work on that number when we have the information, so that we can determine the cost associated with that.
Yeah.
But it was that's a goal. Not to say it's like something we do right away, but that because there is a large audience that we likely are leaving behind without using also Facebook, at least Facebook, in my opinion. But Facebook, Instagram, all are out there. So this one is about this.
I think OBS is free. I think.
It is.
And I'm pretty
I can
sure.
confirm it is.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that it can do YouTube. Yeah, for sure it does YouTube. I don't know if it does. It might do Facebook Live, and I know it does not do Instagram because that's how I almost got hacked. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's helpful. We have several different
and you kind of just
sources.
download it onto
Whatever you have, Mac
and then
OS.
you open that, and then you can also configure like maybe putting the time or the agenda next to the whatever video format you're using.
Okay.
Or whatever.
Cool. Yes.
I have OBS Labs at home, so I can try it. And then I can email both to see if it works or not. What it can link to. So.
Okay. Yes, please and thank you. Yes, thank you. I'll also look into the StreamYard cost in case like this IG Live is a make or break thing for whatever reason. But In the event that we can't find a platform that can stream on IG Live, that would require another device, being set up besides the Owl, like a phone or something. Someone's literally just streaming on Instagram Live and CV1. And I think for that we need a comms intern. Like we spoke about also getting an intern for that because we don't have the capacity to stream every single meeting,
Yeah.
as board members or as folks who want to be attentive to whatever the meeting is and
Mhm.
cannot just sit there. And then if you do stream on Instagram Live, you have to have like a I would suggest having like a tripod for the phone or something. This is in the event that we can't find a streaming platform that can stream to IG Live.
Right.
But yes, we can report back to the chair on our findings once we
Mhm.
once we look into all these platforms. But anything else, y'all? Social media related?
When I do the Instagram post, does it automatically post on Facebook? Because it says it, but I don't check the Facebook,
Yes.
so I don't know if it actually does it.
Yes, I've been seeing that it has been. So that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you, Les, for doing such a great job
Sure.
with Instagram posting and
Thank you.
creating flyers and making art for CV1. It's
Yeah.
been great. And sharing like a lot of the events that are happening across Mott Haven. It's been really helpful. I know that that's one of the favorite things that people have about our newsletter, like that we do share events that are happening locally
I will say,
and resources too.
yeah, that I know we have that QR code that says like, please submit whatever event. Has anyone used it?
Not really.
Okay.
That's something that it's been-
Because I'm not opposed to people just DMing us,
yeah.
like, because that's what South Bronx United has been doing, and the library has been doing. They're just
They
like,
just
hey,
been
post
DMing their
this.
flyers.
Yeah.
And we just
So
repost it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fine too if they want to DM.
Okay.
And I know like we always talk about like tech access. Like there's a lot of elders who want to submit things and they don't necessarily know how to do that, through the channels that we have. But word of mouth also works. Like, hey, this event is coming up. Can you post
Yeah.
about it? Yeah, send us the flyer, or like we'll try, to create something
Right.
to amplify that this is happening in the community.
And this brings up another thing, maybe more for our district manager. I know in the general board meetings, a lot of the, I guess, political liaisons that come and are like showing us their flyer, reiterating what their flyer says that we already have a copy of. Just a suggestion. I think it'd be great if they sent it to Text and Comms, so that way we already have it out, and we're like, hey, we already know about your blood drive. We don't need to spend the 3 minutes that we should prioritize on a voting item because it's already on our Instagram and whatever newsletter and all the other avenues that we post things on. So I don't know, it's just a time saver.
Yeah. Time saving is good, but I'm gonna push back just a little bit because there are people who are not on social
True.
media at all,
Yeah.
and they would not know about that event unless they vocalize it at the general board meeting. So like we gotta be mindful. Like as much as we want to tech,
Yeah.
like make everything tech, we also have to remember there's another aspect to this
Yeah.
committee, and that's comms. Like we have to use other avenues of communicating, like events that are coming up, and if that's in person, then and that's accessible to someone, then we have to remember that,
Yeah.
So I think maybe still, if time saving is a thing, I think it's a great idea, but maybe just telling them leave a flyer at the entrance where people
Yeah.
pick it up instead of
Yeah.
spending an extra 3 minutes going through like all these different events that are happening.
Right. Yeah, and then also sending it to us because I
Yeah.
feel like
Still sending it to us is a good idea.
I feel like they don't know that we exist and that we can amplify it on our platform.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'd be great to just have content to also post.
No, that's
Because sometimes we do have dry spells where like
yeah,
I don't know anything, or someone will send it to me the day of, and I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
yeah,
I can suggest that when I'm checking between me and the district manager, when we're checking the generic BX01 emails, if we do see a flyer, we can just immediately forward to the comms team just so you can have it.
yeah.
Yes, please. That would be helpful. I know sometimes they send it like short notice, but it's helpful when they send it ahead of time so that we can tell people and people can enjoy. So Okay, moving on from social media. There's
Mhm.
nothing else.
No.
Um, oh, sorry. Another thing I wanted to add too. I think we have to try to also work on. I know that in the beginning we were doing like Spanish and English posting.
Oh, right.
I think we have to work on continuing that because I've seen that we do have a lot of like Spanish speaking folks who may not necessarily understand like, what we're sharing.
Yeah.
And yeah, if there's like support needed for that, then
Mhm.
of course I'm here to help. And if ever like things get too much,
Mhm.
please let me know. Like if you need us to split the IG stuff again.
For sure.
But yes.
And one last thing, social media. Um, the chair, the district manager, and I have been talking about social media, kind of using it to also bring more awareness for chronic issues in our district and complaints that have yet to be resolved. Something similar to what you did with St. Mary's Recreation Center, just highlighting it. I think we should also use, we feel when we're speaking like that, it'd be useful to use social media also to just, highlight those chronic issues in our area and, whatever complaints that have been logged into 311, but it seems like there's like a standstill or there's a lack of response, and we can use the CB's social media to be like, okay, this was reported 2 weeks ago. Was there any update?
Putting you on blast. Yep.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. We're joined by the chairperson Alia told us on YouTube saying so hello,
Hi.
chair.
Bye.
But my colleague said is that there was something we had a complaint recently about a nonprofit organization that has a supportive housing program in the community, and the chair and I said, well, we're going to respond to it in person instead of responding to in writing, which is a typical thing, and tracking the response of folks and everything else, and kind of go and investigate the kind of see you one in your on the move, kind of like piece where we're able to go in, and we got a great opportunity to interact with some of the residents who are in the supportive housing program to get their side of the story about what the folks are saying, and then we went in and we had a chance to ask for a meeting with a supportive housing provider, and at that time no one was available to speak to us directly about the issue, even though we did talk to some staff. But we got a promise to help follow up directly about it. So it was a great opportunity, and the chair definitely, wanted to bring the idea to the comms committee to say how the staff or the board or the committee chairs or the board period can be responsive to different concerns, especially before and after outcomes as it relates to different issues from everywhere between the bus stop that was shut down that was very useful to the community to issues that we see that are ongoing with our parks, to what's happening with the shelters and or other social and health issues that are plaguing our neighborhood, to kind of encourage administration, elected officials, and others to partner with us to help bring these issues first out there to the community so they're aware, but also community board runs continuous effort to help get those issues resolved, and that we're not this office, but we are a community working together to resolve the community issues.
Yeah.
So that was something we hope to work with this committee to help broadcast that work
Okay.
in a very strategic way, to making sure that people again show the work that we're going to do. So we'll all be going out. Stephen, we're going out. We're all going to go out, and we hope to get people to contribute to
That's awesome.
the postings that are ethical and great, to talk about what the issues are, and if they work with this committee to broadcast them as much as possible on social media efforts.
Yeah, no, this sounds like an amazing effort, and
Mhm.
of course, yeah, we're all down for that. And I think specifically for the 311 complaints, if we can somehow see those so that we can identify like what issues we need to focus on
Sure.
for posting, like
Yeah.
maybe start a campaign around whatever the issue is and what's more like prominent, what's more important for the community right now, so that we can focus on that and then move on to the next one. But if we have access to the 311 complaints, we can better I guess, figure out a posting schedule or how we're going to create content for this specific issue and go out into the neighborhoods to film as well. And I also want to empower our community board members and also our community chairs, our committee chairs who know more about these issues, have their finger on the pulse on very specific issues related to their specific committees. So like if for instance we're taking a walk in the corridor to visit businesses and we're out as a community board, who's filming these experiences and
Safely.
right safely, and how can we also receive that content so that we can create a post to post on social media, and also I think it's important to, if people are comfortable, to visibilize community leadership and who the chairs are and who the community board members are who are going out to talk to folks in the community, and like who's comfortable also as business owners, as community members, to talk on camera about certain things. And this can be as simple as going out with your phone and just, hi, I'm vice whatever, I'm chair blah blah blah, and we're out here meeting with community members about an issue with garbage in our community. And I think we can go from there. But specifically for the 311 issues, it would be great to see like what those issues are so that we can figure out a campaign initiative. And would love to explore the conversation about how we see content sharing and content documentation moving forward.
Yeah.
So, Chair, if you don't mind, first someone wants to be added to the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. And I can't do this physically, but I was online and just had a couple of things, but I'll jump in when you guys. I know Sonia was just talking, so I'll jump in once Sonia finishes.
Yeah, I actually just wrapped right now when Anthony passed the phone, so would love to hear your thoughts, Chair. Thank you for joining us.
Of course. So a couple things. Right? Like one, I was thinking, like me calling in right now, like I'm thinking about how we need to activate the Zoom option, the hybrid option, to get people involved. While you can't vote online, you can definitely engage in the conversation. So that's one of the things that I wanted to add. The other thing was in terms of like the issues that are going on in the community, I was wondering if at the communications and technology meetings, we can have like not even a summary, just a list of all the issues that came up for the month. And then communications committee could be a space where we have the media, people from media regularly attending, people that have those outlets, maybe even some content creators in the community who could share some of the stuff. But I'm wondering if we can go through like what the issues are in the community, and then like let's say we have someone from News 12 or Joe Hirsch from the Herald. Like how can they help us list these issues, right? Just something that I was thinking about of like how can we list these issues using, because I know like the media, they like to come to our full board meeting, but sometimes even there, like we can't get in depth with some of the things. Like it's a limited time, and so just thinking about like, for instance, the Chicanito spot, right? That's a huge one, and it was something that we were voting about. If that came across communications and we had some social media folks or content creators, even like there might be an opportunity to highlight that spot again. If it's a big enough issue. I mean, just an idea. I don't know what folks think about that, but
yeah, thank you, Chair. I think it's a great idea, and something that I was just mentioning was like in curating that list, are we going across different committees and writing down what the issues are that they bring up per committee? Like how are we gathering these issues per se? Besides, the what I brought up was us getting access to the 311 complaints, for instance. Like that's one way, but what other ways are you thinking that we can gather these by the time we meet together so that we have that list already curated in this committee?
maybe it's part of a committee chair report, right? Where it doesn't have to be as in depth, but what were the top issues that came across? Email your top issues to Soji. Send that over to her so that you have all top issues. They don't have to be, it could just be illegal cannabis shop on 153rd and 3rd. Things like that, so that we know like what are some hotspots, and then like we can bucket and maybe the district manager and I filter through some of them and say like, okay, it looks like we got 10 similar issues. The issues are different, but they all kind of relate, right? They're all connected. So I don't know. I would say like maybe the chairs can send us like a monthly something about the issues that came up, and then we can just have that ready prior to your meeting. I don't know.
Okay.
Because I also wonder where the 311 reports that go online, where they go. So I had a few people submit to see, like, will I ever hear? And I never heard anything.
Where do they go, Stephen? Do we know? The ones that people submit on on our website?
So I'll start as Stephen add. So my understanding is that a lot of them go directly to the agency that has the responsibility to resolve the issue. There are some issues that I'm not sure if it's likely is from our website, that those issues that are coming in complaint, they come to us in BX01 general email mailbox, and we have a system here internally where we log the complaints as they come in. We reach out to the constituent to get very detailed information that is not likely in the B01 complaint, and then we continuously log between staff, something the chair readily audits that looks at what responses we get back from the agencies to help resolve those. But those are only the 311 complaints that come directly from the BX01 website, and it comes to us as an email, and we're able to work through that. And that's the same way we use when we deal with constituents who happen to visit the office. They get they're logged into our system, and we regularly follow them. I meet weekly. After they meet with the constituent. The liaison meets with Stephen, and I meet weekly with Stephen or the constituent liaison to talk about where strategy about how these issues are being resolved. But that only happens again for the ones on our website. The agencies likely get a bulk of the 311 complaints that go through the regular 311 system.
Hi, good
That's my
evening.
understanding.
Pass
The
me
only
the
way that we get a clear understanding about what's happening in the district is if the agencies share
Thank
the
you.
different complaints that come from specific.
Thank
like,
you.
For example, when we had
Thank you.
looking at a liquor license for a business, we asked NYPD to opine upon how that business is doing, and they bring all the one complaints that have come to them as a public safety issue to NYPD, and that's the only way we hear about those like public safety complaints, and because NYPD has access to that.
Can I ask a question about, can we, because what I noticed is that when you go on to that report section to submit your complaint, it asks you for the service request number, and you have to have it. So that means that the person has to already that have that service request number. They have to add it in, and then I don't know where the report goes, but if we can contact the folks who manage the website and ask them if that can go to a spreadsheet so that we have access to it, that would be better. Because right now we don't know where that information goes, and it's already in the system because they've already contacted 311 in order to have a service request number. So if we can contact those folks, who is it that manages the site? OTI?
Yeah, OTI. We spoke to Tim
Yeah.
from OTI.
If we can reach out to him and have like a clear understanding and even like request that he attached to a spreadsheet that's connected to us so that we have direct access to those complaints, that would be great.
Currently, does it populate on the spreadsheet when we receive those requests, or is it just in the email inbox?
So my understanding is that email inbox. So
Okay.
That's how it works out.
I see that. I mean, strangely, yes, it does have a field for service request number, but it also has another. Yeah, that's required. So they do need to have a service request number. But then there's another section that says, "Was the complaint submitted to 311?" And it's like, no, that's why I don't have a service number. So this is a little not intuitive, and we should probably fix that.
Learn more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, learn more about it. So thank you for bringing that up, Chair. Actually, I didn't notice that. And I agree that we should have like these service requests and these 311 complaints coming from the community populating into a sheet so that we know, like, we can keep track. Kind of similar to, I think there's another issue report that we receive at CD1 that I've seen. What?
Comstat?
Yeah, is it Comstat? Yeah.
They might be utilizing to us at
Okay,
the community board meeting.
got it. And that's like a sheet.
Right, one pager.
Yeah.
The 28-day occurrence of as drivers will, those can get it online.
No, but there's another complaint sheet that I've seen in CV1.
So we have one internally that we made is the one with that constituents can fill out. So they fill out exactly in their words what the issue is, and so that we have like another paper generated document. We didn't want to tell you that because we know how you love paper, Chair. But no, seriously, we that's another document. We have this for auditing reasons for us internally to making sure that we log in each person's because sometimes we wanted to get in that person's words. We didn't want it to depend solely on the words of the staff or taking the complaint. That's internal here. We take that with us to general board meetings. And then there's one for.
And those are only captured if you walk into the office or if you call the office.
Right. Yeah. Or if you're at a general board meeting.
Yeah. And I think that's a good point too, Anthony. Something that you can highlight at a general board meeting are those things to the community, right? Like how many complaints the community board received, and like how many we were able to resolve. I think that's a good, way to kind of show some data that like, hey, community board office is working, and this is what we're doing, just so people know, like, you come to the community board office, etc.
Yeah, so I do highlight that in the district manager report. I'll do a better job by highlighting it more comprehensively.
So it is part of the report.
But I'll do a better job.
Okay. So, yes, I think. So you people come in and they write down their complaints, and then you have to manually enter them into the sheet.
Right.
Okay, I see.
We use a system that's similar to my previous lives that we want to make it on a sheet that's openly available to all our staff or interns, so that if anyone interacts with that constituent, they can see the last thing that was done, the last agency that interaction. Meaning, like if we reach out to NYCHA and NYCHA said this, or response we got back, and direct contact information to get in contact with the constituent, in two ways, either phone or email. And we work. That is something that's visible for anyone from the board members, but also for the staff to look at.
I see. Thank you. In terms of the complaint report on the website, the form right now, I can reach out directly to OTI since I have a connection to Tim that we previously had website updates and I was the one corresponding with him. So I'll reach out and I'll make the suggestion that we actually push the service request down to below was complaint submitted to 311. If so, what was the service request? Like that's more intuitive. And don't make that a requirement, the service request number, because not everyone has one and hasn't reached out to 311 directly. And I'll also make the suggestion that the chair uplifted to make this go into a sheet, populate these complaints into a sheet.
We can also create like barcodes, like one in Spanish, one in English, and maybe other languages where like, you just, if you walk into the office, you scan, like, if you want to just to make things easier, I think, and to schedule an appointment, like the walk-in is great, but sometimes like Steven is caught up doing some other stuff or Anthony's caught up doing some other stuff. I think like a person walks in and is like, hey, I got some issues with my apartment. How can you help me? And it's like, all right, scan this barcode, enter all the information, which is like a little survey that says what's needed, what do you need, whatever. And then that can populate into the spreadsheet. And then you give them like an appointment date, and then they come in, it's already there in the system for you. That could be a little easier too, versus just having folks in the office where you have to like now stop what you're doing to, and so like, I don't know.
Yeah, we can do that easily. We've created QR codes in the past for some of our forms that already exist. I just wonder, because we can link it to the current form on the website, but first I'll check in with TIN and OTI and see if there's a possibility of creating that sheet from this form directly, or do we need to work around and make our own form on Google that we've done in the past, or what's the safest way to create a form for people to submit. So we'll look into that, and we'll come back to it at the next meeting for sure. But I think it's really important, for people to have an easier way to submit complaints, and doing that in English and Spanish as well.
Good.
Thank you for that. Speaking of English and Spanish, interpretation services. The last time we met before the break, we spoke about adding the equipment to the tech request. I still need to do more research about the best equipment for interpretation, but I know that's something that I've brought up continuously, is trying to reach out to a cooperative, like a language cooperative that can provide the interpretation services in our community. And I've seen folks in community share, offer interpretation services at several community events. So I feel like that's something that we can have on the community board, and it's also supporting a cooperative, so
Can you explain more? If I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'm not. So language cooperative.
So worker-owned cooperatives that provide language interpretation services. I know previously, during the pandemic especially, people were using a lot of language cooperatives to interpret on Zoom. And there was one called Caracol, but I don't think they exist anymore. But there are still people who are connected to that cooperative who still offer interpretation services, and they have the devices still that we can reach out to. Is it the kids? But I feel like there definitely needs to be more like mindful, intentional research on like how we want to approach this. Because if we're looking to get devices, then we also still need to hire someone to do the interpretation through those devices. It's not just just buying the devices and calling it a day. It's like having someone there for the meeting, and also reaching out to community to see like what accessibility do you need, what language do you need for the general board meeting. So there's a lot, and I feel like a lot of folks don't attend the community board meetings because we haven't provided interpretation services, and they don't understand what we're saying. So once we figure out like how to approach the interpretation services, then we can do outreach to like inform people we're providing this service now. Please join us in your language, But yeah, I think that's something really important. It's been a long-term thing on the committee because it's something that isn't just like night and day. Like it takes time. Yeah, but it's really important. And I think we wanted to reach out to OTI to see like what, how they could help with that process.
So what my understanding was that there's our agency, within the city of New York, that's supposed to work directly with the community board to help provide that assistance. We're working with the mayor's office, the mayor's community assistance unit, to see if the agency can provide that, because not only are they supposed to be providing language interpretation services at meetings when asked, it's supposed to also be planning support. Before we look at you up there to help us understand the whole process. So we're still working with that. But we'll follow up some more just to see if if that's a cost associated. And likely the costs that we'll figure it out. And as a staff, we'll come back at the next meeting and have some comprehensive information about it. I believe the mayor's office for civic service.
Okay. Oh, it's good to know that we're supposed to be receiving these services through the mayor's office, and that resource is available. But yeah, if we can get an update on that the next time around, then that's something else we can look up at. Um, the potential to get those services on CB1.
Yeah.
I know, sorry, I know we passed the social media part, but I test running. So I boosted our calendar today. It's pending approval just to boost the promotion. So, like for $15 over 3 days to try to target a certain amount of people, just to see like.
Oh, you boosted it? I said, wait, you posted it or you boosted it?
No, I boosted.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
just
just to get the calendar. So I did it with the calendar from September.
Oh, okay.
So we'll just see. It was like $20. And I think we'll just see like once that gets approved if it works. Like, should we target? Should we do this more? Should we boost like our calendar? And like boosting anything that we really want to highlight.
Okay. I've never boosted anything on social media, so yeah.
I never either, but I'm interested to see what this does.
Yeah, and does it go beyond our catchment? Like we want it to go to folks who just
it goes so we can actually do that. So we can say we wanted to target a certain zip code. We could target similar people with similar content, that's the automatic. So it'll target like the elected, it'll target like community-based organizations. I don't know how it does, they have like the algorithm that they do, but let's see. I use this for the My Haven Rock, and when I boost it, it goes to like runners, like the run community, people who are athletic and stuff like that. This I'm not sure, so we'll see.
I want to add that work that we have been doing about getting information out to the community. We like the economic development committee was attended well, not only by people representing, but members of the community. And it was highlighted on our YouTube page, and they got a chance to be interactive and ask questions and so on. We didn't even have seats for the press, but they were looking for seats at the economic development meetings. But I say that because that's definitely that work that we're doing is impactful in a way that get a population of people who never interested in politics or civic service, who never attended or was aware about community board meetings. So for the first time, it's pretty good. And they walk away with the calendar. They want to learn more about how to become engaging as a public member, or this attend and once that it gets out there, it becomes like a plague. Hopefully, it starts spreading, and then people want to come to the next one. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I'm also curious about.
You could get a seat, right?
Yeah, I was like,
that's really good to hear.
Party.
I'm also curious about like how people are hearing about community board, like how is it word of mouth? Is it did you see a flyer somewhere? Did you see the calendar? Were you on social media? Like how did you find out? Right. So I don't know if we want to do that at each committee, like when we do see a new member come in, without being weird, like
maybe there could be a new section in the public member application, like how did you hear about us?
Yeah, that's true.
Or in our sign-in sheet when we do the sign-in, I watch my back and make me a little nervous. So
She's looking in. I feel like people are really curious when they pass by this.
So like maybe Stephen will put in the sign-in sheet that we'll check how do you or a little section about how do you hear about us. Something like that, or maybe Huts Park Express, or maybe the Bronx Beat, or the other. There we go. We give you a little shout out. It gave us some information about how people should be engaging.
Yeah, that is interesting. And I think once this ad gets approved, we can see the insights of what Instagram tells us what target audience we are.
Yeah, we can.
Does it do that? Does it like tell you like
your
story? Does it go like reports back?
With the boost thing you're talking about?
I think so. Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we can check in on that the next time we meet
really
too.
cool.
And we can also check in like offline too, like if you want to share that in our chat. Okay, so moving on, if there's nothing else with social media and interpretation services. Okay.
So we're gonna look at equipment. We're gonna research what the language cooperative, and then I'm gonna reach out to the mayor's office. That's my.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for the services that they can offer.
Yeah.
to do a temperature check for that. The next thing is tech trainings for CB members and community. I know something that Les and I amplified last time when he was vice chair. Was providing workshops and tech training for the folks on CB1 who may need it. So Google Drive workshops, 311 workshops for community members too that don't know how to submit a 311 form or like use the 311 app or call 311. And we want to bring that back. So something I'll be working on now that we're back from break is making, these slides, these accessible slides that we can share with community members and community board, and that we can also host like an event or a workshop to invite people to come to CB1 to learn, how
I
to
think
use
that would
these.
be ideal.
Yeah.
I think that's very necessary indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I think that would be ideal. Again, especially for the seniors, and I'm part of the senior committee too, and I think many of them would welcome some kind of input on how to use computers, how to use laptops. I mean, let's face it, I found out that look, some of these senior citizen centers, the adults gave them free laptops to take to their homes, and they don't know how to use it. So I bet you many of them will be willing to bring those laptops and kind of, I mean, look, you helped me out. When my email got stuck one time and I didn't know what to do, thank God that I had you guys help. I don't know what I was going to, So that was one silver lining of the COVID,
Right.
that all of us had to get on board with technology.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, so I think that I highly applaud that. And I would support that in any way possible.
Thank you, RJ.
Sure.
Yes,
Mhm.
and any insights that you can bring from the senior committee, the aging committee, on what other tech trainings are necessary and are important for you all?
The main thing would be, like you're saying, that's something basic, like what you just put up. Well, we could start from something very basic. How do you navigate with 311?
Mm-hmm.
When you have a complaint, something very basic. Some of these seniors want to know more, for example, even how to use their emails and go back and forth. Or we could tell them something also about what is Wi-Fi, what is internet, what is a wireless connection. I'm talking about some very basic things that I think a lot of us would like to review, and there are a lot of people who will learn from that. So I think that would be ideal. We can start from some very basic things, and let's show them our CB1 website. A lot of people don't even know that we have a website. Google. You Google this, you Google that. Now the youngsters like you, they know about all that. They're the ones who taught me about Wikipedia and all that other stuff. That's why I get all my insight. No, I mean, it's some of us with. I don't always have gray hairs, but you know what I mean, and I think that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So we can start from something very basic. Let's play around with our website. Show them what our website is about. People don't know that a website for CB1 exists.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be ideal.
And we have some updates on the website that we were able to get through OTI. And our website, you can also be translated to whatever language, like they use like a Google Translate service. So
Great.
Whatever language you need can be accessed there.
That's awesome.
And there, like on the website, there are a lot of things that folks can learn about, like who our representatives are, where they're located, the elected officials' offices, their emails, their phone numbers, all that information is there. There's also like a breakdown of what committees are here. There's like we put a as simple as this is, there was never a picture of the CB1 office on the website, and we put that there so that people know like this is what it looks like,
Right.
and this is for you, to come access. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to do a website 101 thing too, and an internet 101, email 101 training for anyone who needs
I would like to add to this ambitious conversation. The election is coming up, and while I know that we're focusing on these 2 workshops for the elders and anyone who is interested in learning more about emailing or Google Drive 301, I think it would be great to collaborate with another committee to get young people to register to vote, and maybe do, collaborate maybe with an organization like NYC Votes to table outside of the office, and I don't know, put up some Canva slides, or even a reel would be cool. Because I think that video that Clarissa posted on the LGBTQ plus thing, um, performed really well. And I feel like, you know, the algorithm likes faces, so even putting a tutorial of like registering to vote and why it's important and baby steps of, you know, to get the young people to vote. That deadline is coming up for November. I think it's October 26th,
Mhm.
I believe.
And I wonder if we could add some information to that. If we, like, I know one of the area organizations, the Bronx Offenders, all a person has to do is walk in there with an ID, they're doing it for them.
There we
And
go.
they'll do it for you. Okay, they have a
Yeah.
direct link going on with the Board of Elections. I found out, 'cause I went to their last meeting, and that's what, yeah, we are trying to get as many people as possible to vote. You know, we're trying to get as many people as possible to register.
Yeah.
And I understand that sometimes navigating that link could get kind of tricky
Mhm.
when you're first registering, and you know how that is. If you don't do one right spot, you can't really move on to the next question. You see what I'm saying? And it's not going to go through until, in other words, if a person doesn't know how to cross their I's and T's on the computer, so that's why those are services. And I know one organization in, well, that's already going into District 3, right? Where the Bronx Offenders is located on East
No idea.
160. But we're neighbors with each other, and we network all the time. So they're okay with me, with us showing a place that's close by that can help them with that.
Yeah.
They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and anybody, they don't care where you're from. If you're from the Bronx, man, where you're from, anybody could walk in there and get registered to vote. I understand there's a direct receptionist directly from the board. They opened up a Board of Election desk there. Okay, and all you have to do is show any kind of ID, and they're going to put it into the system for them.
Yeah, if that's
So
something that,
yeah.
Going off of what you're both saying, RG and Les, is like maximizing this location to bring a partner like NYC Votes or League of Women Voters or someone who can come and table and like help with that, provide that resource to people who come to the community board who can register right there on the spot, you know, and also provide those dates to folks. And we're also still reposting. We should still repost NYC Votes and the deadlines and all of that.
Yeah.
On our social media pages, as
Mhm.
often as we can, especially when election season is out.
And if we get in touch with the Board of Elections and there are enough people in the, they will bring somebody, they'll set up a table for us. You know, if the weather's still nice. I mean, look, every Saturday we're giving out produce. Why not have the Board of Election on the side there registering people? See what I'm saying? Or even on a weekday basis, the truth is, a CB1, which I think is good, is actually giving out a lot of information and services. People are walking in, which I think is great, but they would be willing to bring somebody with a laptop, because that's all it really takes to set up.
And to add to what our colleague is saying is that the community board currently it helps register folks to vote in 3 languages. So we have that available here in the office. We're working, and we are having conversations about how to amplify voter registration. Voter registration happening in high schools for those who register early. It's 17 to be ready for 18, and also having voter registration always available when we travel to any outsource, like moving our committee meetings or either board meetings. So, and also, and finally, up until the deadline that we mentioned in October, actually, when the deadline is to make sure folks understand the importance of registering in this federal election and what it means.
Is the deadline, yeah.
Yeah. So we're working on it. We're having conversations about how to be strategic, and because we understood we all a long time ago about how if we energize the voting registration roles in our district, it impacts our conversations that we have on different levels, and getting the things that this community deserves done in a very meaningful way.
So I want to jump into today. I had a meeting with New York City Votes, and they're going to come into the community board on October 10th to do a training on voter registration. So on 10/10 at 6 o'clock, we're going to combine the Youth and Ed and the Young Adults Committee, and then anyone else who wants to join that is welcome. I think the idea is that once we get that training on 1010, the idea is that we do something that's leading up until the last day of voter registration, which is 1026 for this election. So once 1010 hits, we're all registered. We have, they do, New York City Post does like this train the trainer thing. And so they'll be training us, and then we'll be really equipped to be able to register people and to talk about like the importance. They're going to come out and talk about the importance of voting, do some historical stuff, and it should be good.
Is there a flyer already for that, or should we look to
And
make
also,
one?
we just had that meeting today,
Oh, okay.
so we can create. I guess creating the flyer will be up to us.
Yeah.
So we can definitely do that.
With the NYC Votes logo, since they're partnering with CB1?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you for letting us
awesome.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
That's the same day as the CB1 mixer. Is there a conflict of?
No, it's
Calendar?
October 10th. So the mixer.
Oh, October 10th, 10/10. Yeah.
10/10.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. So any like events happening like that we need flyers for, like passing on the information would be great, so that I can stay on top of our Canva Pro, and making those flyers out, because our social media is working. So it's important to get that information out.
I also want to list that Dream is hosting a Vecinos block party. So they're shutting down Bruckner Boulevard between Lincoln and Alexandra Avenue. And this involves like local vendors, community. CB1 is going to table at that. Also doing voter registration. NYC Votes will also be there. And I think it'll be a good time to partner NYC Votes with CB1 to kind of do something really cool and like getting people super excited about voting. They'll have swag that they'll be giving out.
Okay, well, what day does
When
that
is
take
that,
place,
Leanne?
Clarissa?
So that's on 9/21.
Okay.
9/21. What time?
It's from 12 to 3. So 9/21 Saturday, 12 to 3.
Okay, and CB1, we're gonna have a table there?
Yes.
Okay, so then we could come by and help if we want to, if it's from
Definitely
12.
see you at
That's
the
on
table.
Saturday.
So that's a Saturday.
Yes.
So that means that after we finish giving out the pantry here, we'll march ourselves over there. And, gee, we'll make a whole day of it. Okay, no problem. No, that's,
RG, Clarissa said if you want to volunteer, you're we welcome that.
yeah, after we finish giving out the produce here, we'll march ourselves over there,
So
right?
maybe you can have flyers here
Mhm.
for that event, so people can come over to.
Maybe we can distribute produce at the event. I don't know.
Always said it. You think people maybe will come looking for it though here?
Yeah, that they will do that, and
They know this is the location.
I'm sure if we distribute produce, that Clarissa, I see where you're coming to. That will attract a whole bunch of people. I know that for a fact. But you're right. Since they're so used to coming to this address, I guess.
What happened?
Yeah.
So Dream held this event 2 years ago, and we had over 800 people attend the community block party. And so we're expecting probably a little more than that this year. So I think it'd be great. I think voter registration, especially families that live in Mott Haven, Melrose, have the High Bridge area, but mainly Mott Haven and Melrose. New York City both said that Mott Haven is one of their priority locations because of the low number. So if we can, whatever CB1 can do to drive that number, I think that'd be a win for the community board as a team. Like, to show like what were the numbers before and like what these efforts that the board has done to kind of like get folks registered. But it's not just getting them registered; it's also like NYC Votes said there's a process too to get them to actually vote, right? And then that's some stuff that they'll talk us through as well. And some things that we can do with people to like make sure that they vote on the day of.
We can look into planning like what content we want to create.
Yeah, and then any flyers surrounding that should be passed to us, and can post and amplify those important dates.
Yeah, and be advised. Now I know that it's kind of going to happen soon. This Saturday, South Bronx Unite up the block from Dream on Lincoln Avenue is having their end of the summer barbecue.
Mhm.
And our garden, Rainbow Garden, we're giving out book bags and school supplies to everybody this Saturday. So I know it's kind of last minute and everything. So yeah,
There's
Um,
always multiple events.
that's on
the same day.
Melrose, but because they're part of the district, and CB1 has always been part of helping out there and everything. That's at the Rainbow Garden on Melrose at 150, between 156 157.
Are there any flyers for that event?
Gee,
The Rainbow Garden.
yeah, that we gave out flyers last week. And I don't know if there are any more of them left.
Do you have any
So,
digital ones that we can post?
yeah, digitally, you would have to get on the website of the Rainbow Garden. But you know what I'll do? I'll get on the app and I'm gonna have Ludi send it to you directly, Sonia.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give her your and we'll work it out that way. Or she could at least send you a link.
And that's
Okay,
this Saturday.
Ludi, yeah, because this Saturday right here on Melrose, we're giving out school supplies and backpacks and
I
book
think I
bags.
found it.
So
I
did
found
you
on
find
the-
it?
it's- Yeah, Bright Beginnings Cater Forward Back to School,
Mhm.
September 7th at 12 p.m.
Oh, nice.
There
Okay,
you
we
go.
can just repost that.
Yeah.
I'll send
Okay.
it to the DM.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Thank you.
there you
Thank
go.
you.
Yay!
Um,
Go Sonya. Oh, you're
thank
good.
you for uplifting it,
Mhm.
RG. So let's move on. It's 7:16. We're in 16 minutes into the meeting. I wanted to talk about press guidelines and protocol for speaking to press, and mainly what our procedure right now is we receive the press inquiry via email, and then it comes to comms and tech. We want to put the response on letterhead, right? That's always the procedure. But we also want to seek the input of the chairperson of the committee that the issue pertains to, right?
Right.
So I think that I want to encourage, as part of the comms and tech committee, chairs to be empowered to not respond to press directly, but to be empowered to write up,
Yeah.
responses depending on whatever the committee issue is that the press person is reaching out about. Because the person on the committee is the most knowledgeable about what the issue is, above comms and tech even.
Yeah.
And then our response, so the first line is us getting the inquiry, we're reaching out to the correspondent of whoever the committee this issue pertains to is. They're writing a response and we are putting that on letterhead. But we're also, making sure that everything is okay and rewording or fixing or adding more information if it's necessary. But so far, the way we've been doing it and the way I've done it in the past is like I ask for meeting minutes for the committee and then I search for the information on my own. But I want the chairs to be empowered to do it instead, because they know they're knowledgeable about what the issue is, and it removes the caveat of like me going through this entire like meeting minute sheet to find the issue specifically and provide information on that. So I think we should uplift that and share that with see how committee chair people feel about taking on that responsibility of responding to press inquiries, not directly but through comms and tech. Any thoughts on that?
I think that sounds good.
And this committee will be responsible of drafting up what the protocol will be moving forward.
Great.
With what I just shared, so that we can amplify that across the board, literally. Yeah, across the board. Okay. And the next thing that I wanted to uplift, Chairperson Alayeto brought up creating a WhatsApp chat. First for some of the leadership in the board, but then including the wider board, CB1. So I wanted to figure out like what the proposal can be for that, and like obviously it's a volunteer thing. Like people don't have to join if they don't want to, and it's only if you want then you could join. But yeah, I just want to hear more about your idea, Chairperson, behind creating a WhatsApp for CB1.
Yeah, I think so. For me, creating the WhatsApp was just a faster and easier way for me to be able to connect with everyone at one time. And I think maybe we start with the executive team before opening it up to. But I would love it to be like in a world where we all 50 members are on this group chat, and this group chat is solely for board business, but also like you're walking in the street and you see garbage or something's going on in a certain, like you snap a picture and you say this is East 153rd, we need XYZ, like something where we can all see. Again, there's a flyer that's posted. Somebody snaps a picture of the flyer. All 50 board members got it really quick. So I think it's just an easier way to have access to board members. Again, like you have an option to mute the chat if you don't want to receive the notifications. This is not something where you're like, oh, good morning. You're sending like prayers. Like, no, this is like board business, and like there has to be strict guidelines around it. It can easily removed from it. So I think if we had like strict guidelines around it, it's optional. It's just the easier way. One for like, I know that things, the DM, he gets certain complaints from maybe board members or something, but like if we all have it in one spot, like we all have it and we all are aware of it, so that if the message doesn't get to one of us or to a chairperson, or just we all have the same information. So that's my thought behind what's happening.
Okay. For one thing that I want to mention is maybe this can be brought up at the next general board meeting, just as a proposal, like before we start adding even the executive committee or like just so to make sure that folks are okay, like this is all right with them, just based on privacy concerns and whatever concerns people may have, from just being like, if we just add them to a group as opposed to like asking, or proposing this as an idea and then going on after the meeting to create it so that nobody's surprised, so that would be my only thing on that.
There's also group me.
Group meet.
Yeah, which prevents like people seeing your number. Yeah, I'm all for it. I think we asked and there was like some were okay with it, some weren't. I'm totally fine, like, to just put people who are okay with it, join the group, and then it will just be those folks. But I could see a world of like, oh, we didn't get that information, and it's like, oh, you're not part of the group, right? So like it was shared on that.
Yeah.
So I also don't want that to be the space where we lose communication, but
It's just like a channel. Yeah.
It's just a channel.
Yeah.
Cause like we're all in different parts of the district, and one of the things that I always thought about was like, how do we like make folks responsible for the areas where they live and bring that information to the board, right? Because I'm in Fort Morris, Mount Haven. I don't know what's happening in Melrose all the time, so I have to rely on like RG and other folks who live in Melrose to be able to tell and talk about what those issues are and what Melrose is dealing with, and maybe what events are happening in Melrose. And so I think it would, in the perfect world, like we would have like a map that says, hey, these 5 board members in this section, we could see where everyone is on the map, and we'll know like what's happening in the district. Give updates specifically on where you live. What are your neighbors talking about? What were some of the issues directly on your block this week? So things like that. So we know what's happening throughout the district, because I don't really like when we talk about, I don't even know what's happening down in Fort Morris, or Melrose half the time, if it doesn't make the news. So just a space for us to like share those things.
Anyone wanna bring up any suggestions, comments, concerns?
I mean, I feel like we do a pretty good job amplifying information on the social media that we already kind of run together. I do have a little bit of concern about having a WhatsApp chat because I feel like as someone who deals with a great deal of elders in the community, I'm a part of like 18 involuntary chats
Same.
that I just get sent flyers, prayers, funerals, like wakes information, and they're all muted, but there's a new one popping up every day. So um, I just feel like I know WhatsApp has a feature. I've never used it. I don't know how it works. Where you can start a community chat and only
Yeah.
moderators
Something like
can talk on it and like spew information, just for them to have access to you. But I mean, I don't see that being different from like an Instagram or yeah. I don't know. That's my only pushback. But besides that, I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I think we can look to bring it up at the next general board meeting and then go
Let's see
from
what
there.
comes up. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else on the WhatsApp chat? Okay. On to the next order of business. Email blast to CB1 members. This is similar to like, you know, communications and just sending information out to CB1 members. I wonder if there a CB1 email that goes out to like all members, like in the event that Compton Tech needs to send something important out.
So we can create that, an email address that has several sub email addresses that which are actual email address. So all the emails are hidden into that one email
Yes,
address. So
yes.
we ask OTI that to allow that, so that it will help you with the newsletter.
Yeah.
Just for board members, and they will. And I don't know. You can add non. I have to look at the rules, but yes, I'm sure it's very easy. Yes.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, that would be great if OTI can create the email, the sub email to blast out. Yeah, there's sometimes that, you know, we talk and we say like, we really want to inform community board members about this new link or, you know, this form that we need their input on, but like, there's no easy way for us to blast that
So
yet.
send it into the system, and then we
Yeah.
send it out. That's
Right.
what the process is.
Yeah, and if we could just click,
Right. I don't know. I do. Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't know that. I don't think it has to be done internally. I think you just have that address that will.
Just yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll let you know tomorrow.
and we also want to make sure that CB1 members are registered to receive the newsletters too for CB1,
Yeah,
so they
that's
stay
a
up
big
to date.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
We did that.
we did the
shared it.
the
We
sign
shared
up.
you. We also shared with you every.
Oh, you did. We added
and
them.
all, yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone written back and said, "Get me off of this"? Like,
Nope.
Not
let
yet.
us know if that happens, so that we can respect their wishes. They can-
So far,
Unsubscribe, but they could do that. They could do it on their own, right? Unsubscribe. If they
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they can unsubscribe on their own. Yeah,
They can.
unless they don't know they have. Yes, first.
Quick question: how are addresses added into like, can you manually add addresses?
To Mailchimp for the newsletter?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we can. That's how we did it.
And who added those?
We did. So I did when I created the newsletter.
Wow. Okay. So I have email addresses that I want to add to the Do I just send those over to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
That's what's up in the Google form.
Sorry, one moment.
Did you add that? Sorry, did you add that to the Google Doc that you have all the
Oh, the newsletter form?
right?
The
No, you have
login?
Google Doc. We have all the logins
To
and the
export, no?
passwords.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I think I
put.
put the MailChimp login for that, so anyone can access it, but if you want to
I
send
think
me
it's
it.
me, you, and
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marissa.
Yeah, I think I made a login like thing for all the social media and including MailChimp, but if you want to send me the list, I could just
Add it.
add it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just sent you. I just shared the spreadsheet that I have,
okay.
and so use this for like I have a Google survey that goes out for anyone who needs a mattress in the community, and so it populates. And what I want to do is anyone that lives within our area codes, like 10456, 10454, 10451, any of those, we can just add those emails because I want to make sure that they are part of they're getting our newsletter.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, where do these emails come from? So they come from the mattress distribution list?
Yeah,
So they don't know that they're being signed up for it. Do you think there's a concern there?
Nah, there's no concern because I'm giving them free mattresses and like this is the
You give it up, you get this.
You get a free mattress and it comes
The
with our-
caveat is you need to get a newsletter from CB1.
That's it. Exactly.
And if they do
And I
want
guess
to
they have an option, right? If they don't want to,
Yeah, they can unsubscribe.
that's fine. But I feel like if you need services like this, you also need to be a part of like the newsletter to figure out like what other services exist in the community.
Now they're all nervous right now. If we send that list to come in, then we get this.
All right, cool. Got
No,
it.
it's
No,
inside joke.
yeah. So you sent me the list through Gmail?
I just shared it with you, yeah.
Okay, I haven't received it yet. I don't know if.
You could ignore the highlights on it. Anything green, that's just people who got delivered mattresses delivered already.
I don't see it in my email yet, but I'll check later on, and if I still don't get it, then I'll text you.
I just okay. It said access updated, so you should have gotten it out.
Okay. Oh, I see it now. All right. Thank you. Got it. All right. So I'll let you know when I'm able to add those.
Yeah. No rush.
Okay. So that's moving on from email blast to CB1 members. Thank you, Mia, for reaching out to OTI to get that email created so that we can start. We're not gonna overdo it, but whenever we do have a blast that needs to go out, it would be nice to just have one email that we can click. I wanted to make space for any communications concerns we've had on CB1. I know we just came back from a break, but are there any concerns about comms?
Guys are doing great. All the technology stuff. I mean, even online, like, yeah, it's rocking. So I'm excited.
We get DMs or do we get like little comments under our posts at all that are anything exciting?
Surprisingly, no. I thought that was going to be our biggest issue, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
In the beginning, there was just like requests for Spanish interpretation and like post in Spanish. There was a community member who was like commenting.
yeah.
But yeah, we don't really get a lot of.
We did. I didn't add this to this one, but I know that we talked about it, and I don't know if, about highlighting someone at the next couple of issues. So
Yeah, like the chairs.
chairs of the committees.
I think the blast would help us with that a lot, so that we can start saying, "Hey, we would like to start doing this campaign to highlight you. Are you interested?" And then we can start creating a list of like who's interested, so we can go
Who's
around
first?
and
Everybody.
Yeah.
That's very important.
yeah, it's easier for us to just do it that way.
Yeah.
And then maybe at the next board meeting, we can record some folks. We also have to think about like how we're doing it. Are we doing video? Are we doing a picture and then some details about the person? Like how are we?
Can you do an interactive video on the newsletter? Is that-
Yeah, you can embed video.
Yeah, you can. So like it could be like a little mini interview about the person. Who are you? What's your title at CB1? How long have you been on the community board? We can come up with a list of questions. To ask the person.
Sanji report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
investigation.
It's like my mom wants making people nervous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments, concerns, suggestions for communications?
Suggestions?
Yeah.
Well, I was in what was the other committee I was at?
Economic development.
Yeah, economic development. And that was my first one. And I found it interesting, like the businesses signing up for liquor licenses and stuff. And it gave me the great idea of maybe highlighting local businesses on our Instagram. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that means they reach out to us first or we're like, hey, I'm in CB1. Do you want to be on our Instagram for a second?
Oh my God. You know what? That's a great thing. I don't know if Anthony, Anthony, did you bring up that we had lunch at one of the local businesses and we're
I did not tell her that we can't. No, I didn't tell them because now they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you already feeding the chair. That's it. You just tell me
But I think this is a great opportunity where like we can go around to the businesses and say like, hey, we're CB1. We would love to highlight your business.
We want to highlight this mango smoothie spot.
Yeah, we could do little. You're good at that, all the TikTok stuff. So yeah.
If community board members go out for dinner in our community, they should take pictures and say like, hey, I was out at this. This is a great spot. You know, just give like a little highlight, send it in. We should open that to community board members. Like,
Yeah.
do you have a favorite restaurant in the neighborhood?
Yeah.
Well, they don't have
Do
anything.
you have
before
a
the board,
favorite?
so.
You know, and like we'll go and highlight.
I think Anthony just brought up an important point. So
That as long as they don't have anything before the board, that's
Yeah.
I don't see there's no conflict. Yeah.
as long as it's not a conflict before the board.
But yeah, it was great because this added to what the chair said. We went to this spot. It was brand new. They already went through the whole process with the committee and everything else. And the chair and I sat down. It was like whoa, what is this place doing here? And we went in. Of course, it had an A rating because I would have freaked out. But it was just great to have a conversation with the manager and talk about how the experience of it, but also and then I guess that helps to heighten up our support for small businesses because and the work that Chair Lopez did with talking to the small businesses that unfortunately lost their businesses to the fire and that whole struggle to work headed, which is now eyesore across the street, the building. But highlighting our support for small businesses to ensure that they have a fighting chance to be successful because a lot of the small businesses depend on word of mouth and mom and pop kind of like referrals to get in there. I'd love to know where she gets Leslie gets her ice cream, but she all the time because I don't know more sometimes. Or either when Steven comes in, he's an eater. He goes to these interesting places every day, and I eat the same old boring chicken salad sandwich. But no, but seriously, we enjoyed that. It was to have a conversation because, and the business was super excited to see the people who they, who were part of government who supports them and spends money with them. So that's important. So
yeah, it was good. Like I went back today with my wife to the business. I was like, "This is a great restaurant."
See, she didn't even take you.
So which restaurant is this?
Customer thing going on. The other thing is, I think.
Well, wait, Clarissa, which restaurant is this?
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, we can hear. RG's asking what
restaurant is it?
Hacienda Agave on 138.
Oh yes.
That's the Puerto Rican
yes. Yes.
I was gonna say, Anthony said if they don't come before the board, but I think even if they're coming before the board, it's more of a reason why we should go out and be investigating these places as well. So if they're coming before the board, it's because they want to get a license. Either they want to get a license or they are trying to renew, right? So if they want to get a license, they might be a new establishment. If they're trying to renew, I mean, it's worth going and seeing like, hey, this was a nice spot. It was clean. Customer service, like whatever. But I think it's more of a reason why, like if they're coming to the board, we do the research first before we can make we make informed decisions on like, oh, we were there, So
and establishing just rapport and relationships in the community. And I think it's important to like highlight, what's going on and like share resources with people. So we can figure that out. There's a lot of small businesses, a lot of mom and pops, and a lot of places that we can highlight. So we'll figure out how we can approach that. If it's like business of the week or whatever, things like that.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, y'all. Last thing on the agenda, open floor. Anybody wants to, including our guests? Open floor.
Anyone?
did our guests introduce themselves?
So we did have introductions at the beginning, but we have new guests who joined us, so maybe we should make space for.
Yeah.
Is that the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Marina. I'm from, we're reporters with the Mott Haven Herald and Pennsylvania Express, but we're also students at the CUNY School of Journalism.
I'm Marwa, and same thing. I'm at the CUNY School of Journalism with the Mott Haven and Pennsylvania Express.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Everyone else did intros already.
I'm Argelia Ortiz. Hi, everybody. I'm a board member and just involved with a variety of things. Hi, everyone. We've seen each other before, kind of.
Oh my, this owl is amazing, y'all.
It
I
is.
know.
It's awesome.
Comes and take when Clarissa, if you want to introduce yourself since you joined us on by phone and folks may not know who you are.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Clarissa Mayeto, I'm the community board chairperson.
Yes. And I'll just intro myself again and allow everyone else to just go ahead. Yeah, because we introduced ourselves earlier. So. But I'm Sanji Lopez. I'm the chairperson of Comms and Tech here at CB1.
Oh, me again. Hi, hello everyone. Anthony Jordan, district manager to the board.
I'm Leslie Lopez, and I'm a new member.
Stephen Palmer's community associate to community board.
Yeah, I guess.
My reporters.
Yeah,
I have
you guys
all
go.
Sam Murphy, also QDJ school student with the Mott Haven Herald and Hunts Point Express.
My name is Cameron. I'm from Columbia. It's publication of the Bronx Bulletin.
Thank y'all. All right, so open floor. I don't think
Was that
anyone.
Chris? Did you say it was Chris?
Me? My name's Cameron.
Cameron.
Oh,
Chris reached out to us, right, via email. Yeah.
I responded to him today.
Okay, perfect. I don't think anyone has anything. Yes.
Yeah, just a few quick questions. How many committee members are there usually on this committee?
Usually there's not many. I think the most we have is 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cycle there's supposed to be 5 here.
Right. So there's one vacant.
Does that include the new folks?
No, there's 3 vacant because our DM and Stephen don't count.
Yeah. Well, Clarissa's on the phone, so
Yeah, and so there's missing. Yeah, there's 2 missing.
there's 2.
So that there's one missing, because,
Yes.
okay, so that means that there are 4 of us all together. Because we're counting Clarissa, so there's only 1 missing, really. Because altogether, there are 5 of us that make up the, right?
Oh, I wasn't
Is
counting myself.
I mean, I'm looking at the attendance sheet, that's how I'm doing it. Oh, you didn't count yours, you have to
Oh,
count
you're not
yourself.
counting yourself?
No, I
So
wasn't,
there's
but-
4
So there's
people.
1 person missing.
Yeah, only one
Somebody
person,
can see.
really.
Okay, there's
Only one
yeah, there's
person,
1 person.
really,
Maula
you know.
Cosme. Okay, so there are
Yeah.
4 of us. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, great.
Did Maura confirm? Did she say she was gonna be out?
She confirmed that she will be part of the meeting, yes.
She said that she was gonna be here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so we will follow up with her just to let her know. Okay.
And to your point earlier on the Zoom thing, we should definitely talk about that at the next meeting. Yeah,
I was
setting up a Zoom account.
You've been to a policy resolution.
Yeah, a policy. That's right.
I would love to have this meeting in September Zoom accessible.
Okay, so for the policy, does that have to be like a mayor's office thing?
So no, so my understanding is that the board has to pass resolutions allowing for virtual participation from board members and for that, so, but there's certain things you can't vote virtually, so that's, we have to pass a resolution of the full board, that's not up to that.
Okay, so at the next board meeting, can we have that resolution be part of the voting thing item?
So this, it comes out of this committee today, and then it goes to the full board meeting resolution.
Okay, so yes, I think we should. Can I make a motion?
Yes,
When
I
the
actually
members,
motion.
when the members have asked for the motion.
Okay, can someone ask a motion to include a Zoom hybrid option for the next meeting? For committee meetings in general, is that what you're asking for, Chair?
I think we can start with the full board meetings, but I think eventually should be all meetings. The thing about it also is like, we don't want to make a hybrid option just available for everybody. Like in order for you as a board member to be hybrid, there has to be a reason. So,
Yeah.
like you have to be a caregiver and you have to be home, your pet has to be home. You know, something where like you have to be home and like, but also like, we need to be able to make it accessible for the community who can't show up in person. So they should be also part of the engagement process. And we also need to have like the capacity, because we need somebody to be able to, you know, look at the questions that are being asked. So what are the comments being made online? So, you know, how do we manage that as well? So a lot of things to consider, but I think we can make it happen just so that's more accessible for people.
So you can say, so that now, so explore the virtual option.
Okay, so that would be the what we're voting on, exploring it, not
Right.
implementing it yet,
Right. Unless you guys are
Yeah.
right now.
because we have to come up with the exceptions and the protocols and the all these other things.
So before we vote on it, we should have all that stuff already in place so that when we present it to the board, we say, this is what we have in place. This is the policy. Do we all agree on this? If we all agree, great. If there's any discussions then we discuss it. And then, whatever it passes, this way we can move forward and it doesn't take any.
Okay, the district manager is gonna get me a sample policy from another board so that we can work off of that
Yeah, that's good.
and see if we can create it. We may need a little more time to do
Yeah,
it.
and just to clarify, making the Zoom hybrid accessible for people who can't make it or just the public in general, that would need a moderator of like someone sitting behind a laptop.
Yeah.
And like being like, oh, Clarissa has a question about blah blah blah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta figure
Would
all
that
of
be like an intern thing or?
Yep, this is another thing. Sounds like
Or would that
not
be-
on
okay, so finding an intern is
It can be an intern thing. I think also like Stephen can help with that. I'm not sure what the role is during the full board for Stephen. I know it gets crazy, but if we have like operational stuff, then it might be good, like just to have like somebody behind and saying like we have a couple questions or it would be good if we could get an intern, but if that's gonna delay the process,
Stephen, any comments on that? Since that's kind of being appointed to you, I just want to hear it.
Just something we'll talk about it when it comes up.
Okay,
We'll try all facets and options.
Translation.
All right.
Yeah, Zoom, virtual
so
stuff,
we'll come
yeah.
up based on whatever the
Yes.
PM is able to share with me on what exists at other boards for hybrid options, then we can come up with our own protocol and exceptions and all that good stuff. And, break down who the moderator would be for these meetings and yeah. I think,
And then what we need to have those spaces that we move around, maybe need to have some certain things in place like technology and certain places.
yeah,
So, thank you, Chair.
yes.
yeah.
Okay, so any other questions, y'all? Any other-
Just sorry, one last comment. I would like to really move forward with the Google Drive workshop or the 311 workshop and kind of pinpoint like a date, or are we just making PDFs or reel or whatever the way that we're doing this so that we can be like check on the next meeting, like we did that one and now we can move on to a different workshop. So I don't know, like pick a date or a thing.
Well, honestly, let's work on making the slides first.
Okay.
And then you and I can talk about,
Okay.
and the committee members of Comms and Tech can figure out what dates we can propose for workshop dates.
Okay.
And hopefully at the next general board meeting, share what those dates will be.
Okay.
So that we can move forward with it.
Okay. So
But yeah, I think that's definitely possible. Slay. Thank you. Slay.
What? What's happening?
She says work, slay. That's Les's thing.
yeah, sorry.
But all right, so I would like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting for the evening.
I second it.
Okay, who first?
Oh,
Oh, I'm asking for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
What do I
Okay.
say?
So you say,
You
Go ahead.
put a motion.
Oh, I put a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second it.
Okay, discussion?
No.
All right, none? This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.
Welcome back. We're back, right?
Thank you.